Hello everyone. Today we are going to start with our next chapter, that is chapter number 8, living and non-living. So in this chapter we are going to study about living things, or we can say that living organisms. Both are similar. Like living things are those which have life in them, like insect, trees, birds, and biology is one subject that comprises of the study of living things, and it divides into bios means life and logos means knowledge. Now comes non-living things. Non-living things are those which do not have life. Like many things we can see around ourselves, like a blackboard, like your clothes, like your bed, everything, toys. These things are non-living things because they do not have any life in them. Now for the living things, they have a particular cellular structure. Like all living things or living organisms are made up of one or more cells. Now they are made up of, it depends on the organisms whether it will be made up of unicellular organisms, multicellular, or single cell. So the cell is basically the smallest living unit of an organism. It is the smallest living unit which is present in any organisms. So it does the structural and functional unit of all living organisms. So cell, the main function of cell is that it is the structural and functional unit of all living organisms. Most cells are so small that they can be only seen with a microscope. Organisms can be either unicellular or multicellular. So some cells are that small that we cannot see them with our naked eyes. We have to use a microscope to view them. And organisms can be either unicellular, means single celled, or multicellular. So like bacteria, amoeba, and paramecium are example of unicellular organisms, and these organisms are made up of what? Single cell, and that's why these organisms are called as unicellular organisms. Now comes multicellular organisms. These are the most complex organisms. And why these are complex? These are complex because these are made up of more than one cell. Like humans, plants, birds, and insects, these are some examples of multicellular organisms. They may be made of several millions of cells. Now the count of cells is not fixed, or we cannot count them, but it can be approximately several millions of cells are coming together to form a human body, a plant, or birds and insects, these kind of bodies, and these comes under multicellular organisms. Now comes the growth. If a body is there, there will be growth. It will increase in its size. So we have to study the growth of organisms. So the growth is gradual increase. Obviously it will be the gradual increase in the size of an organisms as what? As the body starts maturing. Okay, as the human being or any living organism, it starts maturing. How we will find out that it is getting mature? That the growth or the size will be increasing, and the size increase means that there is growth happening in the body. As an animal or a plant develops, it becomes larger and heavier. Both the volume and mass increases. So as an animal or a plant, it will develop. What will happen? The body mass or the volume will increase. For example, a microscope has to be used to see a whale's egg, but an adult whale may be 30-meter long and weigh 75,000 kgs. Like, and for an whale egg, we may need a microscope to view that. But for a matured whale where the growth has happened, we can see it with our naked eyes. Like it will be 30-meter long and it may weigh around 70,000 kgs also. So the growth of plant is very different from that of animals. A tree grows throughout its life, but animals usually stop growing when they reach a certain age. Like we can take one example. When we human beings reach a particular age, we stop our growth there. We do not grow more than that. Like our height start our height will stop. After a certain age our height growth will stop. So that means that the human beings or these kind of human beings or animals, we grow at a till a particular age. But in case of plants, we'll see that they grow throughout their life. Like the branches will grow, the fruits will, one time they will wither and next time they will grow. Like the leaves, the fruits will be coming after one season. So these happens as they grow throughout their life, and it is only in the case of plants only. Humans stop growing mostly at the age of 18. Non-living things like crystals also increase in size. This can be seen in the increase in size of salt and sugar crystals. So if we start making sugar or salt crystals, and if we leave them for a certain period, we will see that there will be increase in size of the crystals. This increase is not due to division of cells. Now why growth happens in living things? It is because of the division of cells. But in non-living things, where there is no such cells or there is no such life, they will not grow because of the division of cells. Why they grow within the crystals? But is due to addition of more layers on the pre-existing layers of sugar and salt. There is just a man-made method that what happens in the sugar and salt crystals, there will be one layer after layer depositing, and that will show the growth of these non-living things crystals. Okay, so where in case of living things, they will grow due to division of cells. Like in a glacier is another non-living thing that grows due to gradual external addition of frozen packed snow. So why does the glaciers grow? Because it is there due to gradual external addition of frozen or packed snow over them. Now comes movement. So with growth, what happens, animals also have the ability to move from one place to another, whereas non-living things doesn't have that ability, because we have to pick them up and shift them somewhere else because they do not have any life. So we are going to study about the movement of animals. Since animals cannot prepare their own food, now we know that we animals, the humans, we cannot prepare our own food. So animals, what they do, we are not going to give them food in the plates every time. So what happens for those animals? They move from one place to another in search of food and shelter. They also move to escape from enemies. The movement of an organism from place to place is called locomotion. So why the animals move? They move due to shelter. They may move due to in search of food, in search of shelter, or they also may escape from enemies, because in some portions there may be enemies who can attack them, and if they feel it, they try to move away from that portion. So the movement of organism, what it is termed as? It is termed as, in a scientific way, it is termed as locomotion. Cattle move around a field to graze, animals move to forage for food, tigers move to hunt for food. Obviously all these animals move for food. Humans move their arms and legs to do their daily work, and in case of humans, what we do is to move our hands and legs so that we can get the things what we want, our daily work, everything. We need to move our hands and legs. Movement in plants is not as obvious as in animals. Different parts of plants grow towards light, soil or water. Now in plants there is one thing, they also move, but why they move? They move in response to sunlight, a soil or water. Where they find sunlight, they used to tend towards that, lean towards that. Sometimes we have seen some shrubs or some trees are bending in a particular direction. Why these things are bending in a particular direction? Because from that direction they are getting the sunlight, and plants need sunlight, soil, water. These things are, if these things are available, then only the plant is able to make their food, so it tends to move in that portion. Like example, sunflower birds turn towards sunlight. Like sunflower birds, what they do, they turn towards sunlight, and plant grow roots grow towards water. And the plant, where is the plant roots, what they do, they grow towards water. Roots also grow downwards in response to gravity. In response to gravity also, what they try to do, they try to move downwards or grow downwards. That's why the roots are always under the soil, whereas shoot grows upwards against gravity, and shoot tends to oppose the gravity. That's why the shoot grows upwards. Non-living things cannot move by themselves, they need some external force to move. Like this, because non-living things, they are not able to move. So what they want someone like a living form to move them from one place to another. Like we can push it, we can hold it, we can place it somewhere else, these things. So here in this video I will discuss up to here only. In the next video I will be discussing the rest of the portions of the chapter. Thank you.